Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, I'm going to let you know that I am not your financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice on the channel, and I don't even encourage you to invest. But what I am going to do is share with you my own personal opinion and views on the projects discussed on the channel. So this is Metamic. It's an esports, gaming project where they do have a fair launch pre-sale that's going to be coming up on Pink Sale. Going to head on over there right now. We can see that again, Metamic Esports. Again, fair launch. So we can see the badges here. 4 different badges: Seifu, Audit KYC, and the Docs badge. So keep in mind, just because it's got the Seifu badge or even this Docs badge that we don't always see, doesn't mean anything. Again, it's just another piece of information for you to consider as you develop your own assessment and evaluation on the project. So we can see that this sale is coming up. We can see that it's going to be starting in just over 10 days from now, at least for me recording the video. Because it's a fair launch, we do get a soft cap here. The soft cap on this one is going to be 50 BNB. We do get a description here. So it says here, Metamic Esports Games, a platform that allows us to earn by playing various games in harmony with virtual life. It's a metaverse gaming project. Some of the major utilities on this are going to be live in a few days. I kind of wish they'd give us a specific, date where it's going to be live. The games are going to be fully decentralized blockchain-based, games as well. So we can see their soft cap again, and the liquidity lockup time is going to be 365 days after the pool ends. And then we can also see the token metrics with 5.5 tokens unlocked, okay, or 5.5%. Unlocked, so would always love the team to go ahead and at least, weigh in and explain, provide more details as to what's going on with the unlocked tokens. Okay, so that's that. We're going to transition over to the documentation. So as far as the documentation is concerned, they've got some games. The games are going to be, the following. Okay, Lucky Spin, Farming Game, 3D Death Race, Lucky Draw, Fighting, and more games will be added in the future. They also give you some sections down here to go ahead and take a look at each of the games. They give you associated information there. Then taking a look at the tokenomics, and they do have this on the main page too. Total supply here, and they give you the relatable or the related information, here. So I don't know if they meant to spell it this way, but this is not correct if you're trying to go after tokenomics, so I think they missed the O, and that's my growing suspicion, is that they just simply misspelled this. But with the service that we're going to be releasing, this month, or at least, that's really out there this month, it's in regards to doing a private consultation, assessment on projects, so this is the kind of stuff that we would go ahead and highlight, for you, in your project, so that wouldn't have people like me doing videos highlighting it for an audience, in the video. But with that said, we're going to head on over to the main page, and so we can see socials, we can see a white paper, link to the affiliate program and token, and we can see esports, mobile app. Sorry about the clicking taking place, guys, but it seems like anytime you go ahead and click on someplace, on this page, it gives you feedback. So I've tried to go ahead and understand why, but I don't know why. So, but moving forward, we'll see that they've got this, I don't know, kind of like a camera floating around looking at different pieces of like a metaverse, so I do like, what they've got going on. Here is represented in this kind of metaverse, tour we're getting. And we can see here introducing Metagame, the world of Web3 games. They give you some information here. It's basically the same thing that we saw in Pink Sale. All right, so moving forward, we see here and I do, as much as I like the tour of the metaverse, I do think that there are aspects of this page that are just kind of loud, so I do kind of wish they do a V2, on this website. We can see here what is the metaverse, so they provide, some context, to that here with this information. Okay, so again, just talking about, what is the metaverse and the virtual reality world. A lot of games available, but most of them, the user experience is not very good. Metamic is going to overcome this, issue by providing the best games in the crypto world. And they're committed to providing racing, farming, action, and lottery games. All right, so you can earn money by playing the games, okay, play with other users. Sorry, we're just scrolling through this. I'm not going to go ahead and make this video real long. Create a match, and play with other users, okay? And then we got earning opportunities, so through the native token, farming and staking of the token, and then earn by playing the games, all right? So token utility here, they've got some information here. MEG is going to be the governance token of the Metamic Esports gaming project. Each game has its own tools. Upgrade, level up, and participate in every competition of the games mentioned below. Need to use the MEG token because that's going to be the governance token. So, and then they've got some additional things highlighted here as well. So they give you some information in regards to the lucky draw, chance to win 1,000 BUSD. So the top 10 lucky people are going to be given a $2,000 MEG token giveaway through MEG Lucky Draw. First winner is going to get $1,000 in BUSD. Second, 250 in BUSD, and the third is going to be 200 in BUSD. 550 BUSD will be distributed among the remaining 7 winners, which I think is pretty cool. And they give you a participate button right here. Lucky spin. To get the spin, first you need to connect your wallet and spend $1 MEG token. You can win $50 prize with many more rewards by doing this spin. As always, anytime you have to go ahead and connect to a private site, my own personal way of doing it, if it was going to be me, would be to create a brand new wallet so that I would not be exposing any assets I cared about on a project or a website I was not familiar with. But that's just my own personal opinion. We get some partners here, so I see Wellcome Talk, represented here, Hotbit, and some other, and this other centralized exchange, Presale, and so forth. Okay, then token information in regards to the governance token and the tokenomics, so we can see 5% team vesting, 30% fair launch, 15% to liquidity, 10% exchange and partnership reserves, 10% to games and app reserve, 10% to seed sale. Seed sale, I think they meant sale, S-A-L-E, but again, that's just my personal opinion. 5% to marketing and airdrop, and then 50% here, token lock for 2 years. Okay, so team is not photodocs, but you do get some names and some titles here, but again, if we go back into their pre-sale fair launch page, you can see they've got that KYC completed. Okay, then we see their roadmap, so you have to start at the bottom, to go to Q1, so we can see development and platform building, partnership with other platform and exchange. Again, stuff like this, where we see these, misspelling kind of errors. That's where that private consultation assessment service comes into place. That's going to be offered, through the Investment Honey channel. But, this is also indicating that, as a project, look, you got to go ahead and pay attention to the details. And if you are not very good at that, you got to go ahead and seek out other third-party services, as I mentioned, through the service that we offer, to go ahead and take a look at that so that these things aren't being pointed out by somebody like me doing a video on your project, to an audience. So, and then we see Q2, launching products, Lucky Spin, 3D Death Race, Lottery. So these are the games, right? And then 3, we see build up partnership with top tier exchange. See tier, it should be T-I-R, T-I-E-R, exchange and company, launch product V2. And then here in Q4, burning 5% of the supply and launching products V3. So obviously, if you're not familiar, with burning supplies, then that's where you're getting into the whole deflationary aspect, of a token. And it's good, for the rest of the holders because, again, obviously less that's in the circulating supply means that, hey, the tokens that you do already hold are more valuable. Okay, so in terms of the roadmap, we need timelines. We need to know what's currently in process, and we need to know if you're going to be doing anything at the end of your roadmap that's going to indicate further development on the project. So that's just quick feedback in regards to the roadmap. But beyond that, I don't have anything else to add on this one other than to say that, hey, if you guys are interested in this project, again, just make sure that you're gathering as much information as you possibly can to go ahead and further assess the project so that you're operating, from a very informed position as you consider leaning into it or not. So thank you so much for watching. With that said, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you all enjoy the day.